Yesterday we had the definitive break below the $5 mark for CRO against US dollar. So what does this mean for you? Well guys, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only Coin Baron, and even though I'm wearing these beautiful suspenders right now, I can't tell you the future. So nothing in this video will be your financial advice, but I've been tracking the price of CRO for the better part of this decade, so I hope I know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so in this video, we'll talk a bit more about the current price of CRO and what it means for the structure it is in right now, and also what Bitcoin is doing versus altcoins, and also what I expect for CRO to happen versus Bitcoin. So these things are the main topic, so let's get right into the video. The elephant in the room today is definitely CRO closing below the $5 mark, because it's mainly an important psychological level. So as you see over here, we've been battling this range for quite a while, but not only right now we're battling, we had the same battle already back then, if you zoom out, over here in 2019, in 2020, and 2021. We were here for quite a prolonged time. So $5 has been important for CRO for the longest time. But of course, as you see, it might look like we are right now at a lower low, and I even have to zoom out a bit more because over here you saw we are visiting the $5 level. But if you are zooming out, it seems like we are at a lower low, an all-time low. But that is unfortunately not the case. So the all-time low was over here. If you look at the data of CoinMarketCap, was at $2. But as you see, we also went to like $3. So yes, we are at a very low price point right now, but we could drop even lower to go back to the previous all-time low. But okay, for now, it seems like we are retesting these low levels at $5. And that's not only historically very important, but also at more recent times very important. Because as you see over here, we also had a wick at the end of September. So at the end of September, we had this wick over here, but we actually closed higher on that day. But right now, we are actually closing below these levels. And it might be that we do something like this. So yeah, it will be a jump, and then a definite break. But I also have some good news, because these levels are not only very, very bad, because I think it is part of a very healthy price structure. And I've showed this also in previous videos, so let me zoom out a little bit again. Because as you start drawing these rainbow charts, you can find out that these are just healthy price structures. And I think this kind of nicely shows it. I'm just drawing it right now. So as you can see though, we are in this level. We're still in this level. So as long as we stay between $6 and what is it over here, like let's say $4, we are still at a very relative safe structure. But as long as we start breaking below this, so let's say we go into the red area below $4, then we start going into the danger zone. But in a future video, we'll actually go visit the actual reasons why you should buy CRO, or why you should actually invest in the crypto.com ecosystem, because I think there are definite fundamental reasons why CRO will survive this bear market and really flourish in the next bull cycle. But of course, no financial advice. But for now, I think you should know enough about CRO US dollar. So let's go to the next chart. On the next chart, we're quickly looking at Bitcoin versus altcoins, because next I want to talk about Bitcoin versus CRO. But first, I also listened to other creators, like respected people like Benjamin Cowan, and they mentioned that, well, Bitcoin is really what you should invest in right now. And yes, I do believe that Bitcoin is definitely a safe product to buy right now. But also, I'm looking at the big picture, because right now, yes, I think altcoins are dropping versus Bitcoin. But you have to look at the trends, I think. And what this chart really nicely shows is, yes, okay, so if you really zoom in, so yes, we are right now dropping. But if you start to zoom out, no, we are definitely in an upward trend. And I might see this breaking, but looking at this chart, well, no, not really. So in all these years, only once we had that we started a trend, but did not visit altcoin season. But we came very, very close. So therefore, I don't see this happening again this year. This might be a temporary drop, but I still 100% believe we are going to visit altcoin season. And yes, there will be drops on the way, but I think that will be the case for every coin and every chart. So it won't be a straight line, it's always with drops. Having said that, let's quickly go visit CRO versus Bitcoin, because this drop might be happening for quite some time. As you can see, I've drawn two lines over here, and right now we are dropping below the first line. And I think, again, that is important. So CRO Bitcoin is not feeling very strong right now because we're dropping below the lows we have set for this year. But okay, we also have the other line, and the other line is a low we have set in earlier bull cycles. So over here in 2021, we set an all-time low for Bitcoin versus CRO. That was an actual all-time low. And yes, we are getting very close to this all-time low, but this might be the big test that CRO needs to have against Bitcoin. But this test, while it seems very close, is still 16 or 15% away from getting there. So yes, it's getting closer, and yes, we're breaking below these levels, but still I'm not too bearish on CRO versus Bitcoin, especially, and I think I've also done this a few times, so I don't want to sound like a broken record, but look at these structures. Structures tell you so much more than current price action. So the action we're talking about right now is this trend line, and I think it really shows you what CRO is doing versus Bitcoin right now. Because yes, there was a negative trend, and that's usually happening, but it broke out of it. It broke out of it. So it hasn't really done a retest yet. I don't think it will do a retest anymore. But over here, it broke out of the negative trend line. And it's hard to show, but you maybe want to show different videos of me. So definitely check out also all the videos where I talk about CRO versus Bitcoin. I will put a link in the top right corner. Anyways, that is, I think, enough also talking about CRO versus Bitcoin. So for now, take a look at what this will do, and I think it will break below. So right now, I am waiting on a retest of the purple line. I've been saying that also for the last few months, I guess. But okay, let's quickly go to the conclusion. So today we looked at CRO US dollar and Bitcoin versus CRO. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, both look very bearish for the short term, in my opinion. So if you want to buy the cycle low for CRO, it might be worth waiting a bit more. But honestly, that is, in my opinion, really a gamble. So I'm not giving financial advice, but I do advise you to look a bit more to the medium and long term. So otherwise, you might be waiting, just waiting to get the perfect buying moment. So in my opinion, you should do some DCAing. And right now, we're getting into some very interesting territory for buying some CRO at very low prices. And the same is, of course, true for Bitcoin. And the only big danger, the big risk I see for also the longer term at least, is a recession coming in. But okay, that is maybe some topic for a different video. If you're also here for the medium to long term for CRO, definitely subscribe for the channel. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about the current situation for CRO. Are you buying? Are you not buying? Let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you in the next video. Till then.